Imagine opening your front door after a long day and, instead of smelling artificial air fresheners, you're welcomed by the fresh scent of lemon, the sweetness of tropical flowers, or the rich aroma of luxury perfume, all created by living plants. It might sound impossible, but nature has been making the world's finest fragrances long before perfume companies ever existed. Today, we're discovering 5 extraordinary plants that don't just decorate your home, they transform the way it feels. And one of them is so incredibly fragrant that people say it can perfume an entire house after sunset. Number 1. The Freesia. Freesias produce delicate, funnel-shaped blooms that line up along gracefully arching stems in a rainbow of gorgeous colors, from white and yellow to pink, red, and purple. But it's their scent that truly steals the show, a fresh, sweet, slightly citrusy and peppery floral fragrance that's simply divine. And when in full bloom, even a small pot can perfume a whole room beautifully. Grown from small bulbs called corms, Freesias are as lovely to look at as they are to smell, making them wonderful cut flowers as well as beautiful potted plants. Their elegant, colorful blooms bring a touch of springtime freshness indoors, and a vase of them fills a room with both beauty and that unmistakable, uplifting perfume. Freesia's fragrance is so distinctive and beloved that it's one of the most popular scents in the world of perfumery, candles, and luxury toiletries. It's prized for being fresh and sweet, without ever being heavy or cloying. It's a scent that somehow feels both delicate and uplifting at once, which is exactly why a bowl of freshly cut Freesias is such a joy to have on a table or by a bedside. And because the blooms open in succession along each arching stem, a single stem keeps flowering and perfuming for a good while, rather than fading all at once. For care, Freesias like cool, bright conditions and plenty of light. So a sunny, but not overly hot, windowsill is ideal. Plant the corms in well-draining soil, keep them lightly watered as they grow and flower, and then let them rest and dry off after blooming. They're a seasonal delight, and with a little care, the corms can be saved and grown again. If you'd like to grow your own from corms, it's a genuinely rewarding little project, since planting a pot of them in autumn gives you fragrant blooms to brighten and perfume the dark days of late winter and early spring, exactly when you most crave a little color and scent indoors. They do appreciate cool nights to flower at their best, so a bright, unheated room or porch often suits them better than a warm living room. And quietly staking the slender stems keeps those top-heavy, fragrant blooms standing tall and proud. Here's a helpful tip. For the strongest fragrance, choose your Freesias carefully, since the brightly colored varieties, especially the reds and purples, tend to be far more fragrant than some of the pure white ones. So it's well worth seeking out the most scented types. Place them where you'll enjoy them most, near your favorite seating area or by an entrance. Another reason Freesias are so cherished is their sheer range of cheerful colors, which lets you match their beauty to any room while enjoying that gorgeous scent. Mixed bunches create a wonderfully colorful, fragrant display. They're also long-lasting once cut, holding both their looks and their perfume in a vase for quite some time. So, a few stems from your own plants, or from the florist, will keep a room smelling and looking lovely for days on end, making them exceptional value for such a luxurious fragrance. And here's some lovely news for pet owners. Freesias are considered non-toxic and safe for both cats and dogs. Number 2. Night-Blooming Jasmine. For our next plant, we have possibly the most powerfully fragrant plant of them all, the Night-Blooming Jasmine, known botanically as Cestrum nocturnum. This plant is legendary for its scent, and it earns that reputation completely. As evening falls, its small, unassuming, tubular flowers release an astonishingly strong, sweet, heady perfume that can genuinely fill not just a room, but an entire house, and even drift across a whole garden. If you want maximum fragrance impact, nothing beats it. Interestingly, the flowers themselves are quite modest, small and greenish-white. So this isn't a plant you grow for showy blooms. You grow it purely for that extraordinary romantic nighttime fragrance, which is at its most powerful after dark, wafting through open windows on a warm evening in the most enchanting way. It's genuinely fascinating why this plant packs such an astonishing fragrant punch after dark. Its modest little flowers open and release their perfume at night, specifically to attract night-flying pollinators like moths, using scent rather than showy color to call them in from a great distance. That's why the fragrance seems to switch on in the evening and pour out in waves, growing stronger as the night deepens. A single well-grown plant near an open window can fill an entire home with sweet perfume, creating a truly magical experience on a warm summer night. For care, Night-Blooming Jasmine likes bright light with some direct sun, warmth, and moderately moist, well-draining soil. It's a vigorous shrub that grows readily in warm conditions and can be kept in a large pot, then brought indoors or to a sheltered spot during cooler weather. Prune it regularly to keep it a manageable size, and it'll reward you with flush after flush of those intensely fragrant evening blooms. This is a fast-growing, enthusiastic, and generous plant that can bloom repeatedly throughout the warmer months, giving you that incredible fragrance again and again, rather than just once. Because it grows so vigorously, it responds very well to regular pruning, which keeps it bushy, manageable, and full of fresh new growth that produces the most flowers. In cooler regions, it's easily grown in a large container, allowing you to move it to a sheltered, frost-free spot during winter, ready to perfume your evenings all over again next season. Now here's an honest and important tip. That scent is so incredibly powerful that, for some people, it can actually become overwhelming, or even cause headaches, in an enclosed space. So, it's often best enjoyed near an open window or on a patio, where the fragrance can drift naturally, rather than inside a small, closed room. And one important note for pet owners. Night-Blooming Jasmine is toxic to cats and dogs, so be sure to keep it well out of their reach. Number 3. Lemon Verbena. Let's start with what might be the most intensely lemon-scented plant on Earth, Lemon Verbena. If you love fresh, zesty citrus scents, this is the plant for you, because its slender green leaves are absolutely packed with fragrant oils, releasing a powerful, pure, sweet lemon aroma the moment you brush against them or crush them. It's brighter and more intensely lemony than almost any other plant, instantly lifting the mood of a room and making your whole space feel fresh and clean. Lemon Verbena is an attractive, if somewhat lanky plant, with long stems of narrow, pointed, glossy green leaves. It's grown less for its looks and more for that incredible scent. And it's a fantastic culinary and tea herb, too. Those fragrant leaves are wonderfully useful, perfect for infusing into teas, desserts, drinks, and homemade potpourri that keeps scenting your home long after the leaves have been picked. There's a lovely reason lemon verbena has been treasured for centuries. It was long prized by perfumers and gardeners alike for having one of the truest, cleanest lemon scents in the entire plant kingdom, purer, even, than actual lemons to many noses. That intensity makes it incredibly versatile. A few leaves can transform a pot of tea, a jug of water, or a simple dessert. And its scent is famous for lingering, holding its fragrance well even after the leaves are dried, which is why it's such a classic ingredient in long-lasting homemade potpourri and scented sachets. For care, lemon verbena is a true sun lover, so give it your brightest, sunniest spot and plant it in well-draining soil, letting the top layer of soil dry out slightly between waterings. It can get a little leggy, so pinch and prune it regularly to keep it bushy. As a bonus, this also gives you a steady supply of those gloriously scented leaves. In cooler climates, it may drop its leaves and rest during winter, which is perfectly normal. One quirk worth knowing is that lemon verbena can look a little sparse and twiggy if left entirely to its own devices. But this is easily solved, and it shouldn't put you off, because regular harvesting is actually the best thing for it. Every time you snip a stem to use or dry, you encourage the plant to branch out and grow bushier and fuller. So the more you use its wonderfully scented leaves, the better and lusher the plant becomes. It's one of those rare plants where enjoying it to the fullest is exactly what keeps it healthy and thriving. Here's the tip for unlocking that incredible scent. Because the fragrance is released through touch, place lemon verbena somewhere you'll brush past it often, like beside a doorway or along a walkway. Then simply run your hand through the leaves as you pass for an instant burst of fresh lemon aroma. Drying the leaves also concentrates their scent beautifully, making them perfect for homemade sachets. It's also worth mentioning just how uplifting this particular fragrance is. Bright, fresh citrus scents like lemon are widely associated with feelings of cleanliness, energy, and an elevated mood, which is a big part of why lemon verbena feels so wonderful to have around the home. A quick brush of the leaves first thing in the morning is a genuinely lovely little ritual, filling the air with zesty freshness and giving both your home and you a natural little wake-up. And here's good news for pet owners. Lemon verbena is generally considered non-toxic and safe around both cats and dogs. Number 4. Plumeria. Our fourth plant brings the intoxicating scent of a tropical paradise right into your home, the Plumeria, also known as frangipani. This is the very flower used to make fragrant Hawaiian leis, and for good reason, because its blooms release a rich, sweet, exotic perfume that's absolutely heavenly, with notes of jasmine, citrus, and spice, depending on the variety. Just a few open flowers can fill a room with the luxurious scent of a tropical resort, instantly transporting you somewhere warm, peaceful, and beautiful. The Plumeria is a stunning plant, growing as a small tree or shrub with thick stems and clusters of waxy, pinwheel-shaped flowers in gorgeous shades of white, yellow, pink, and red, usually with a sunny yellow center. It's as beautiful to look at as it is to smell, bringing a genuine touch of the tropics to a sunny room or patio. One of the delightful things about Plumeria is that different varieties actually smell quite different from one another, ranging from classic sweet jasmine and honeysuckle notes to hints of citrus, peach, coconut, and spice. So collectors often choose their plants for their fragrance just as much as for their flower color. Its deep cultural connection to the tropics, most famously as the flower of the Hawaiian lei, given as a warm welcome, only adds to its bringing a Plumeria into your home is a little like bottling a tropical holiday, its perfume instantly evoking warm evenings, gentle island breezes, and the relaxing feeling of an exotic getaway. Number 5. Patchouli. Let's finish with a plant offering a completely different, wonderfully distinctive fragrance. Patchouli. While our other plants bring bright, sweet, and floral scents, patchouli offers something deeper and more grounding. A warm, earthy, musky, slightly sweet aroma that's rich and exotic. It's the famous scent at the heart of countless perfumes and incenses, beloved for its cozy, calming, sophisticated character. It adds a unique, soothing depth to your home's fragrance that no flower can match. Patchouli is an attractive, bushy plant in the mint family, with soft, slightly fuzzy, heart-shaped green leaves. Like other members of that family, it releases its signature scent when the leaves are brushed, crushed, or dried. In fact, the fragrance famously deepens and intensifies as the leaves dry, which is why dried patchouli is so prized for sachets and potpourri. Patchouli's rich, earthy scent carries a wonderful sense of history and romance. It traveled the ancient trade routes tucked among precious fabrics and shawls, where its aroma became the treasured signature of exotic, faraway goods. Its leaves were even used to protect those fabrics from moths. Later, it became one of the most iconic and instantly recognizable fragrances of all, a deep, grounding bass note that anchors countless fine perfumes and incenses. Growing your own gives you a direct connection to that centuries-old scent, right on your windowsill. For care, patchouli is a tropical plant that loves warmth, bright, indirect light, and humidity. It likes its soil kept lightly moist, so it doesn't want to dry out completely like a desert plant. Pinch it back regularly to keep it full and bushy, which also gives you plenty of those wonderfully aromatic leaves to enjoy, either fresh or dried. Because patchouli hails from the humid tropics, it genuinely appreciates a little extra moisture in the air. So, it's a great candidate for a bright bathroom or for grouping with other plants. An occasional misting also helps keep its soft leaves lush and healthy. It's also a wonderfully generous plant to propagate, rooting easily from stem cuttings placed in water or moist soil. So, a single plant can quickly become several, allowing you to enjoy that lovely earthy scent in multiple rooms or dry large batches of leaves for a steady supply of homemade sachets. Here's a great tip. To enjoy patchouli's famous fragrance throughout your home, harvest and dry the leaves, then tuck them into small cloth sachets. Place them in drawers, closets, and around your rooms, where they'll slowly release that warm, earthy aroma for a very long time. And here's good news for pet owners. Patchouli is generally considered non-toxic and safe for both cats and dogs. Before we wrap up, here are a few honest, practical tips to help you get the most beautiful fragrance from these plants throughout your home. First, remember how each type releases its scent. The flowering plants, like Freesia, Plumeria, and Night-Blooming Jasmine, perfume the air most when they're in full bloom, so give them the light and warmth they need to flower well. The aromatic-leaved plants, like Lemon Verbena and Patchouli, release their fragrance when you brush, crush, or dry the leaves. So, place them where you'll naturally touch them often, or dry their foliage to make long-lasting scented sachets. Second, warmth and gentle airflow help carry fragrance. So, placing a blooming plant in a warm room or near an open window allows its scent to spread beautifully throughout your home. Third, grouping several fragrant plants together or placing them near entrances and seating areas creates the biggest impact and welcomes you with a wonderful natural aroma every time you walk by. And finally, a genuine word of caution. Some of these scents, especially Night-Blooming Jasmine, are incredibly powerful. So, place the stronger ones thoughtfully and be mindful of anyone in your home who may be sensitive to strong fragrances. Get it right, and your home will smell absolutely wonderful, the completely natural way. So, there you have it. 5 gorgeous aromatic plants that can make your whole house smell amazing. From the zesty Lemon Verbena and the sweetly fragrant Freesia, to the tropical Plumeria, the powerhouse Night-Blooming Jasmine, and the warm, earthy Patchouli, you have an incredible range of natural fragrances to choose from. Swap out those artificial air fresheners for living, breathing fragrance, and enjoy a home that smells beautiful, natural, and completely your own, filling every room with a scent that no bottle could ever match. All right, plant friends. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more practical plant tips and inspiration.